This is the Damien Television Productions presents. Welcome to the Are You Afraid of the Creepypasta Tales? This time, it's episode 5, Dead Bart. You know how Fox has a weird way of counting Simpsons episodes? They refuse to count a couple of them, making them out of episodes inconsistent. The reason for this is a lost episode from season 1. Finding details about this missing episode is difficult. No one who was working on the show at the time likes to talk about it. From what has been pieced together, the lost episode was written entirely by Matt Groening. During production of the first season, Matt started to act strangely. He was very quiet, seemed nervous and morbid. Mentioning this to anyone who was presented results and then getting very angry and forbidding you to ever mention it to Matt. I first heard it at an event where David Silverman was speaking. Someone in the crowd asked about the episode, and Silverman simply left the stage. Ending the production presentation hours ago early, the episode's production was 7G06. The episode title was Dead Bart. The episode labeled 7G06 Moaning Lisa was made later and given Dead Bart's production code to hide the latter's existence. In addition of getting angry, asking everyone who was on the show about this would cause them to do anything that can to stop you from directly communicating with Matt Groening. At a fan event, I managed to follow him after he spoke to the crowd, and eventually had a chance to talk to him alone as he was leaving the building. He didn't seem upset that I had followed him. Probably expected a typical encounter with an obsessive fan. When I had mentioned the lost episode, though, all color drained from his face and started trembling. When I asked him if he could tell any details, he sounded like he was on the verge of tears. He grabbed a piece of paper, wrote something on it, and handed it to me. He begged me never to mention the episode again. The piece of paper had a website address on it. I would rather not say what it was, for reasons you'll see in a second. I entered the address into my browser, and it came to a site that was completely black, set for a line of yellow text. A download link. I clicked on it, and the file started downloading. Once the file was downloaded, my computer went crazy, thinking it was the worst virus that he ever seen. System restore didn't work. The entire computer had to be rebooted. Before doing this, though, I copied the file onto a CD disk and tried to open it on my now empty computer. And as I expected, there was an episode of The Simpsons on it. The episode started off like any other episode, but had very poor quality animation. If you've seen the original animation for Some Enchanted Evening, it was similar, but less stable. The first act was fairly normal, but the way the characters acted was a little off. Homer seemed angrier, Bart seemed depressed, Lisa seemed anxious, and Bart seemed to have genuine anger and hatred for his parents. The episode was about the Simpsons going on a plane trip. Near the end of the first act, the plane was taking off, and Bart was fooling around, as you expect. However, as the plane was about 50 feet off the ground, Bart broke a window on the plate and was sucked out of there. At the beginning of the series, Matt had an idea that the animated style of The Simpsons would represent life, and that death turned things more realistic. This was used in this episode. The picture of Bart's corpse was barely recognizable. They took full advantage of it not having to move, and made an almost photorealistic drawing of his dead body. Act 1 ended with a shot of Bart's corpse. When Act 2 started, Homer, Marge, and Lisa were sitting on their table, crying. The crying went on and on. It got more pained and sound more realistic. Better acting than you would think possible. The animation started to decay even more as they cried, and you could hear murmuring in the background. The characters could barely be made out. They were stretching and blurring. They looked like deformed shadows with random black colors thrown on them. There were faces looking in the window, flashing in and out, so you're never sure what they look like. This crying went on for all of Act 2. Act 3 opened with the title card saying 1 year had passed. Homer, Marge, and Lisa were skeletally thin and still sitting on the table. There was no sign of Maggie or the pets at that part. They decided to visit Bart's grave. And Springfield was completely deserted. As they walked to the cemetery line, house became more and more deceptive. They all looked abandoned. When they got to the grave, Bart's body was just laying on top front of his tombstone, just like it did at the Act 1, the end of it. The family started crying again. Eventually they stopped and just stared at Bart's body. The camera zoomed in on Homer's face, and according to summaries, Homer tells a joke in this part, but it isn't audible in this version that I saw. You can tell what Homer is saying. The view zoomed out as the end of the episode came to a close. The tombstones in the background had the name of every Simpsons guest star on them. Some of them have even heard of in 1989, and some of them haven't been on the show yet. All of them have death dates on them. For guests who died since, like Michael Jackson and George Harrison, the dates when they would die. The credits were completely silent and seemed handwritten. The final image was the Simpson family on the couch, like in the intro, but all drawn hyper-realistic, lifeless style of Bart's corpse. A thought occurred to me after seeing the episode for the first time. You could try to use the tombstones to predict the death of living Simpsons guest stars, but there's something odd about most of the ones who haven't died yet. All of the deaths are listed as the same date. Alright, that was Dead Bart, a creepypasta, the most famous one of them, and I think it's pretty well executed. It's weird and it's pretty drama. More of a Simpsons fan. I'm a fan of Simpsons and watch Simpsons all the time. The show is pretty funny, but for this creepypasta, it's pretty weird and a little creepy. But from what I understood, I like this one. So I hope I'll find in part 2 a more creepy one. And that is Tom and Jerry, the Lost episode. I'll see you in episode 6. This has been the Damien Television Productions.